Oh, honey, grab your popcorn because what's going down in the Southern District of New York is straight up Lego chaos. And at the heart of the storm, none other than Mr. Can't Stop, Won't Stop himself, Diddy. But baby, it looks like he's finally been stopped, dead in his tracks. Before the trial even begins, the courtroom is heating up, and it's all thanks to a massive jury selection mess that's spiraling out of control. Prosecutors? Gearing up like it's the legal Super Bowl. Diddy's legal team pulling tricks faster than a Vegas magician, but this time, the judge isn't falling for it. Let's break it all the way down. So, here's the scoop. Diddy and his legal eagles are allegedly cooking up a plan to either delay this trial or get it yanked out of New York entirely. Yup, you heard right. They're eyeing a venue change. And prosecutors? They're fuming. They're calling on every potential juror to be 100% honest when filling out their questionnaires, because the last thing they want is to give Diddy even a single crack to slip through. Not one. Now let's be real. This isn't just any case. This is going to be the trial of the year. Cameras will be flashing, press will be packed into overflow rooms, and the tea? Scolding. Hot. So if you thought jury duty was boring, oh baby, not this time. But hold up. How does jury selection even work in a high-profile case like this? Most people think it's just a dozen folks randomly pulled and thrown into the box. Not even close. When it comes to big names like Diddy, the court calls in a massive jury pool, up to 500 people. That's right, 500. Because they know half of them are going to get tossed like last season's fashion. And no, I'm not dragging all 500 in at once. These potential jurors roll in waves called panels, 50 to 100 at a time. Why? Because tons will get cut immediately. Some don't speak English, some have medical issues, others just can't be bothered. But this case, whole different energy. People want in. Why? Because serving on Diddy's jury is like winning the courtroom lottery. Imagine being able to say you were part of the trial that either brought Diddy down or let him walk free. That's book deal money. That's podcast guest status. That's clout for days. And if by some miracle Diddy walks, those jurors could literally cash out with tell-alls, interviews, and late-night talk show spots. It's no wonder this jury selection is going to be absolute madness. Now, baby, here's where things get messy. Before anyone even gets close to that jury box, they've got to face the most intrusive, no-holds-barred questionnaire you've ever seen. This ain't your basic what's your name and occupation survey. No, honey, this is a full psychological exam dressed up as paperwork. Every potential juror gets hit with questions that dig deep, real deep, like, what do you think about police and the justice system? Have you ever been the victim of a crime? Do you follow celebrity news? Do you know who Sean Diddy Combs is? What social media platforms do you use? And maybe you better be honest, because guess what? The lawyers are lurking. They will Google you. They will pull up your Instagram, your tweets from 2017, even that Reddit thread you posted at 3 a.m. If you so much as hinted that you think Diddy's guilty or called him creepy in a comment, you're done. Or maybe you're exactly who the prosecution wants to keep. And don't think Diddy's team isn't doing the same. They're combing through every move, looking for potential jurors who show even a flicker of bias. Eye rolls, nervous laughter, clapping a little too hard when his name comes up. One wrong twitch, you're flagged. And that's just the beginning. So once these jurors fill out their messy, revealing questionnaires, they move on to the next round. It's called voir dire, which in French literally means to speak the truth. But let's keep it real. It's less about truth and more about strategy. This is where the lawyers and the judge get to ask questions face to face to figure out who's biased, who's bluffing, and who might sink the whole trial. Now here's where things get spicy. In the Southern District of New York, the judge runs voir dire, not the lawyers. That means Diddy's team doesn't get to control the narrative. They don't get to grill jurors the way they'd probably love to. They can suggest questions, but the judge has final say. So if the defense wants to ask, do you think rich celebrities get away with crimes? The judge can go, nope, next, and baby. That's a huge problem for Diddy's camp, especially after they already pulled that shady move with the judge. Remember when they tried to cry foul over attorney-client privilege being breached, and it turned out to be a flat-out lie? Oh, the judge hasn't forgotten. And from the looks of it, that little stunt may have cost them all credibility. So now the judge is watching. closely. Every move, every request, every suggested question, Diddy's team is under a magnifying glass, and the glass is cracking. Now let's talk about strikes, because baby, this is where the games really begin. Each side, the prosecution and the defense, gets a limited number of strikes. Think of it like Survivor. If a lawyer doesn't want someone on the jury, they can boot them off. There are two kinds: challenge for cause, if a juror says something wild, like Diddy's obviously innocent, or I hate Cassie, the lawyer can ask the judge to remove them for bite. Peremptory challenge, no reason needed. You just don't like their vibe? Strike. But technically, you're not allowed to use that to discriminate based on race or gender. Not that people don't try it behind the scenes. Now let's be real. This is chess, not checkers. In cases involving sexual assault, lawyers often avoid putting people on the jury who mirror the accuser. Young woman accusing Diddy? They're gonna avoid putting another young woman on that jury. Old male juror? Much more likely. It's strategic, it's shady, and yes, it happens. Allegedly. And Diddy's team, they are watching everything. They're looking for body language. They're watching who flinches when his name comes up, who's side-eyeing him, who looks like they've already made up their mind. If a juror gives off even a hint of surviving Diddy vibes, they're gone. But guess what? That works both ways, because the prosecution is doing the same thing, and they are looking for superfans, people who grew up on Bad Boy, people who still bump I Need a Girl in their car. And if you look like you'd faint meeting Diddy, you might just get the boot for being too soft on him. Let's get back to that infamous jury questionnaire, because this thing is a beast. And guess who decides what goes in it? The judge. Not Diddy's team, not the prosecution. The judge has full control. Both sides submit proposed questions, but the judge can accept, reject, or rewrite any of them. So Diddy's lawyers can beg for a question like, do you think media has unfairly judged celebrities? And the judge can straight up toss it. Still, some of the questions that made it in, absolutely brutal. It's like a mix between a psychological profile and a BuzzFeed quiz from hell. Have you or your family ever been arrested? Do you know any cops? Have you served on a jury before? What news sources do you read? Do you post about celebrities online? Do you believe rich people are treated differently in court? And reportedly, Diddy's team managed to get in questions targeting people with strong opinions about hip-hop culture, the nightlife scene, gender-based violence, celebrity privilege, race, masculinity, and power. Because here's what they're trying to do. Sniff out every single person who might look at Diddy and already see guilty written on his forehead. They want to dodge those landmines before the jury even forms. And if anyone lies, like saying they don't use social media, but later someone finds their Reddit thread dragging Diddy, that's grounds for dismissal. Worse, mistrial. And baby, Diddy's lawyers are foaming at the mouth for a Okay, so let's talk about Diddy's wild card. The move his legal team is holding on to like their designer briefcases, depend on it. It's the ultimate courtroom reset button, a mistrial. And baby, they are ready to pull it the second things get messy. Here's how it works. If Diddy's team can prove that even one juror lied on their questionnaire, like saying, I don't follow celebrity news, but secretly running a gossip blog that's been dragging Diddy for months, boom, that's enough to throw the whole trial into the blender. Mistrial declared, start all over. And don't think for a second they're not preparing for that exact scenario. They're documenting everything. If someone claims they don't use Reddit and suddenly a post pops up with them saying, lock him up, they're out. And Diddy's walking out with his shades on and a smirk, but wait, there's more. Now here's where the game gets real strategic. If Diddy can't get a mistrial, he's got a backup plan. Change the venue. Yup, he's trying to pick up this whole legal circus and move it to a city where people aren't side-eyeing him with judgment in their brow. Diddy's legal team is pushing hard to argue that New York is just too biased. According to them, the media's already tainted the jury pool beyond repair. Headlines are brutal, viral posts are everywhere, and holding the trial in NYC? They're calling it pouring clean water into a dirty glass. Translation, they claim it's contaminated before it even starts. And they're not just talking, they're gathering receipts. Screenshots, news clippings, shady memes, tweets, everything. They're painting a picture of a man already tried and convicted in the court of public opinion. Now, moving a federal trial is rare. Judges don't just hand out venue changes. But it has happened. Boston bomber, Rodney King, and Diddy's team is hoping to join that list. But there's a problem. The judge, already side-eyeing Diddy's camp after they tried to mislead the court over that whole attorney/notes scandal. trust was broken, and now every request, delay, question tweak, venue move, is being treated like it's wrapped in lies. Oh, and social media? A ticking time bomb. One wrong tweet, one deleted TikTok resurfacing, and boom, mistrial. That's why both sides are stalking the internet like it owes them money. This case hasn't even started and it's already a spectacle. Jury selection alone feels like a reality show finale. Diddy knows it. He's playing the game like his life depends on it, because it does. And the court? They're ready for war. Stay tuned. Jury selection starts tomorrow. And baby, it's going to be bigger than the Super Bowl.